Podcaster Bushwords. All right, here we go. We're going to put this in record mode. And yep, it's working. All right, great. Let's dive in. Oops, wrong tab. Gosh dang it. Okay, there we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to Core. This is Core episode 221. I don't know if I got 400 from May 20th, 2020. It's a 2020, everybody. Welcome back. It's time to talk about video games and stuff and things. We've been shooting a whole lot of spiders and collecting a whole lot of ore and drinking a whole lot of weird beer. If you wonder what we're talking about, well, we'll explain when we get to it. But let's just say we've all found a new game that we all like playing together quite a bit. And you might too. That's coming up later on the show. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. Time to talk about video games and stuff around video games. Let's do it. Here we go. So, they're making who's played Mafia here? John? Mafia?
I did back in the day, back when it first came out. I don't remember much of it. I remember being very excited about it because I was a big Grand Theft Auto fan.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing sounded very appealing. Also, I think The Sopranos was basically ruling the television world at that time. Mm-hmm. So, monkey see, monkey do.
Sure.
And I was like, I got to get in on this.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a very different kind of open world style game. And it just didn't gel with me. And I think I maybe invested a couple hours into it and then went on to something else.
That's how I was with Mafia 1. Mafia 2 is a way better game, in my opinion. Still not sure it was as good as a GTA could be. And Mafia 3, I never played because everyone told me not to. Everybody said, hey, it's broken, it doesn't work right, or you should wait till patches or whatever, and then I just sort of lost track of it. Bo, did you ever play one of the Mafia games?
No.
I like how you said, like, no.
He just turned into the Emperor all of a sudden.
No.
Why not? Why just not your thing, not your jam?
Nah, it's not my jam. Like, for the same reasons that Ghost of Tsushima, or I think I got it. Did I nail it?
Yeah. Ghost of Sushi, or whatever the hell it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's about a ghost who's
so that game, a lot of comments I heard was like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed Japan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. It looks awesome.
I think it looks great. I can't wait for that.
It looks really good. So I'm, it's just a genre thing. I like gangster movies, but not enough to play a video game. The same reason I don't really like GTA. Just not into playing crime. Because what you end up doing is I don't know, like I like playing renegades in games, but I don't like playing lowlifes that just kind of.
Oh, I see. So it's a thematic thing for you. You're not into the.
I guess I like lowlifes in science fiction. I just think
that's interesting. How about guys what if they're iffy? Like what if it's they're reluctant lowlifes, like they're trying to get out of that world, but they got to do bad stuff to do it. You know what I mean? Like that whole gritty thing.
I guess so. I'm trying to think if there was ever a compelling game set in that time that I really enjoyed. I mean, I liked L.A. Noire.
I like that too.
Yeah. So I really dug that. I just, again, you play kind of a good guy in that. I just don't dig being on the criminal side of crime. I like watching gangster movies, but like a lot of the people they're dumb. I just want to play a dumb character. You view it as a
cautionary tale, not as a like, oh, I want to be that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a fun fantasy. Like if I'm a renegade in Space Mass Effect, being a badass, I feel I'm making important decisions and doing things lawfully evil style, I guess.
Yeah.
But like just being chaotic, even chaotic evil's fun. Cause I like playing Overlord. Where you I like being the bad guys. It's just gangsters are lame, like in video games. Like I don't want to be a biker. I don't want to be a gangster rat. I don't want to play 50 Cent's game. I don't want to be Trevor. I don't want to be like. It's so unappealing. It is the opposite of appealing.
Nobody wants to be Trevor or shouldn't want to be Trevor, but the other guy, not the mob boss guy, the other guy, the inner city guy. What was his name?
Keith
Duncan or Donut or something. It wasn't Donut.
Douglas.
I suspect it was neither of those.
Was it Douglas? No. Whatever it was. I really liked that guy because it just felt like he was just in a bad place, bad time, and had to do what he had to do. And that stuff's written pretty well.
I'm being judgmental from a distance. Like I think probably a lot of that stuff, a lot of hard work went into it, and they're probably quality games.
Sure.
just not appealing to me.
I understand. Totally understand. Yeah. Well, for those it is appealing to, the definitive versions of 2 and 3 with a total remake of the original, which sounds interesting in terms of, these remakes lately have been pretty cool. So maybe there's something there. Will be part of the Mafia trilogy. So if you're really into that series, I guess be excited. The third one was like Vietnam era 60s kind of gangster stuff, which is appealing to do it in a different time. Like I was excited to experience that, but then everyone warned me off of it. So maybe finally this stuff is right. Is it out? It's not out yet. When's it out?
I think there's something about it being released in like waves to some degree.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, you're right. August is the first. Wait, is it? Wait, hold on. I can't find it. Oh, this is cool. If you already own Mafia 2 or 3, you receive a free upgrade to their definitive editions. I own 2. Oh, so I'd get 2 then, definitive then, right? But not 3.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, if for those interested in such things, boy howdy, they got your butt covered there with the Mafia business.
Mafia, catch it.
I'm a little surprised that you, given your love of like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and kind of these ambiguous sort of anti-hero hero type things, Bo, for some reason I would have thought, oh yeah, he'd love a gangster game, but maybe it's just the game context that you're not into.
Yeah, it's the game context, because like L.A. Noire is very cool, because I like crime and stuff's interesting and compelling. I just think a facet of that is, like the running over people in the car, or just like, look how funny this is. I'm gonna run into a store and shoot everybody and take this stuff, like that aspect of the game. I don't know, it's also the driving around places to get to the mission. We talked about this before. Grand Theft Auto is the granddaddy of this.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy the gameplay mechanics that go along with like a lot of that genre.
Sure.
I'm actually with Bo on this. I'm the same way. Like I love a good anti-hero or rooting for the villain or any of that in my media. I don't really like it in video games when I'm playing it. I forced myself through Renegade playthroughs of Mass Effect barely just to get an achievement, because I wanted to get all the achievements for those games.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to actually play it that way. I really struggle with it. And I think it has something to do with, it depends on what sort of villainy they're asking you to do. Because for some reason, I've always struggled with like Grand Theft Auto. I always have a really hard time with those games. But something like Saints Row the Third, no issues. I can play Saints Row the Third forever.
Because it's ridiculous.
And I'll be fine.
I was gonna say the crime game that I now remember that I played and loved was Sleeping Dogs.
Oh yeah, that game's great. Oh my gosh, I forgot to. I mean, that should be in the list of everyone's. If you love this genre, open world crime syndicate games, that has to be in your top 5. It is mine. I love that game.
It's a really good one.
Yeah,
and
holds up a little.
I tolerated the driving in it. I don't know. There's something magical, I guess, about that world as opposed to the other ones.
Driving around Hong Kong, doing
Kung Fu's fun.
Yeah,
Kung Fu gaming. Yeah.
Kung Fu gaming is fun. All right, here's my take on it. It's weird. You guys are not wrong about this, and I don't like. Okay, so I would have friends when, let's say, 4 was out. Okay, and it was Nico, whatever his name was, the Russian dude. One of my favorite characters in the history of the series. I loved his story. I loved all that stuff. But my friend would play it like this. They'd go do some story bit, which really showed him as a character you could really empathize with, right? Like he had his weaknesses and his downsides, but he was just trying to make it right and do good and get out of there and get out of the business. And that's how the story is portrayed. But then as soon as he'd get out of the story mission, he'd run out of the place he was in, hop in his car, run over 8 people, get out of the car, beat up a hooker, shoot a guy in the face twice, run away from the cops. Like, he wasn't really playing the role. The game allows you to do all of that stuff, but that's not what Nico would be doing. So I always play them like the way the character would be playing them, with the exception of Trevor. And even in his case, I don't like when I played his part of GTA 5, I didn't play awful. I still just sort of, Trevor was awful, but I would stick to his missions and I would go do his stuff. I wouldn't go, all right, well, I'm Trevor. Let's see what kind of hell I can raise in downtown San Andreas. I wouldn't do it. And so I never play them that way. So it's interesting. We're all kind of saying the same thing with slightly different tolerances for the for the way they present that stuff. But I guess I'm into period piece stuff. So when you say, hey, we have something set in the 50s or during Prohibition or in the 60s, for some reason that is more interesting to me than if you said, hey, we're having another modern day one. Like, I don't want to play a modern day crime thing. I want to play one where people are wise guys and wearing suits and getting busted at speakeasies, and like that's the place I want to play around in.
I did like what they did for Red Dead 2, because you'd have Arthur Morgan, and if you did do crazy stuff with him, if you did take this character who had a very clear code and what he believed and how he acted, and you started doing crazy stuff with him, all of a sudden he'd just be like, hell am I doing right now? And then you'd go to camp and someone would be sitting there and they'd be like, hey, Arthur. And he'd go, hey, I got to tell you, I feel like I'm being too violent recently.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like he'd have this heart to heart about like, I don't know why I'm getting so angry and doing the things I'm doing. And it was this really interesting way to kind of nudge the player in the direction of like, hey, you're really not lining up with the character without, just forbidding them from doing something.
Totally agree. That's why I think the Red Dead Redemption games have appealed to me so much, because again, you're also in a time and a place that's not here anymore. And so in a way you're playing in a it's almost make believe, as historically accurate or inaccurate as they want to be. You're in a fantasy, and it's just different than today. And
hey, I have a question about Red Dead 2. Yeah. What happens if you go the homicidal maniac route, like the first town you show up and you shoot all the civilians?
Oh, by the way, you should go, even if you're not planning on playing it, Bo, you should go grab it on the Epic Store for free. It's free right now.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Good.
That's actually newsworthy. I installed Epic Game Store and I downloaded GTA 5 because...
Oh, it's fantastic. Well done.
Because
I'm sorry. Red Dead's not free. GTA 5 is free right now, right?
Yeah, GTA 5.
Red Dead popped up on Game Pass for Xbox.
That's what it was. Game Pass has it.
That's where it showed
That's
up.
Right. Okay, sorry.
But
anyway,
not PC, unfortunately.
No.
But
yeah, that's on console only. Although the PC got that the Mech Warrior 5 thing, which I have been playing a little bit of. We'll talk about later. Anyway, Bo, sorry, I cut you off. You were saying you did a thing.
Well, I downloaded GTA 5.
If you go homicidal in Red Dead.
Oh, yeah, in Red Dead 2, if you go homicidal, are people like, ooh, it's the lynchman or whatever,
Well, so the way it works, there is a mission where you kind of partner up with somebody who does decide to just go homicidal and basically murder a town.
Yeah.
And by proxy, to get out of there alive, you also have to fight your way out. And basically, you get a bounty put on your head, which means bounty hunters could be showing up for you constantly, that you have to be aware of. That town gets considered a hot spot until... I think just time eventually wears it down. And if you show your face anywhere near there, they'll just try to kill you.
Oh, but you can't wipe a town off the map by killing all the innocents? Because they're small towns, right? Like, we're not talking GTA towns. You can't kill everyone in Toronto.
I don't know now that you say that.
If you're in a 2-horse town with a population of 120, and you're pretty good at the video game, you might be able to murder everyone. Like, do they just grow back?
Maybe. I think they repopulate with new characters.
Oh, okay.
It's like, here's the new people now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you can't wipe a town out and make it a ghost town, but I never tried, so I don't know, actually. But...
Yeah, I don't know. I could try. I know some towns where people died, and then there was a guy who was like, yeah, I'm the new sheriff around these parts because the old sheriff got shot.
Yeah.
But beyond dialogue like that, I don't remember anything past that.
Yeah, that's that weird space where it's like this third-person adventure versus being Skyrim, right? Like, that line between the two is so fine, but in Skyrim, if you kill the shopkeeper, he's probably just dead, never coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and Skyrim also did that thing where if they were important to the story, you could knock them out, but they'd just get back up.
Yeah, they take a knee. That was it.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Because some of your game stuff you can't break. Well, that's true of some characters in GTA. Certain story characters that are major characters, not GTA, sorry, Red Dead. If you kill them or you do what you would normally do to kill somebody, they also sort of take a knee or get up or say, I'm injured or whatever. You can't kill them because there's huge story down the line that you got to tell with that. And you can't have that guy be dead.
And you can use them to kite monsters around.
Just make them a human shield and take a bunch of bullets. I see what you mean. Yeah, I guess bottom line for me is I am interested in this, especially the remake possibility. If it's good, I want to wait for reviews and some, people have had some time with it. But I don't know. I'm down for this because I tend to play those pretty straight. I don't as much as they're supposed to be sandbox games, I don't really play them that way. I play missions, I do side stuff, but I'm not just like, except for the time where John and I are playing online and we were like shoving each other off buildings and stuff. I mean, that's different, right? You're dorking around with a friend. But in the game, I'm not interested in killing innocents, running over ladies for no reason, beating up hookers. Like, none of that's interesting to me at all. And so...
Yeah, but I'm not taking a moral high ground on that stuff. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I think it's more, narratively speaking, crime stories are interesting because someone takes a shortcut or does something they're not supposed to do, and they have a character flaw that, inevitably, or they inevitably get caught. It's a downfall. Almost all the good movies are downfalls.
Right.
And it's like, it's a rare game. I assume Red Dead 1 had a pretty good story by what I didn't play it. But for the most part, the mechanics indulge the player fantasy. So it's like, kill a bunch of people. Here are dollars. And there's a star. Go run away from the like. It's the video gameness to me usually doesn't match up. It could be for Mafia. I haven't played it, but I find most of the time it doesn't really. The game's rewarding you in a different way. The story is, and it's always jarring.
Well, I can tell you that Mafia 1 felt a lot more focused. Whether that's, my memory or not, but it felt like it was a little more of a focused effort. A little more like L.A. Noire, to be honest. Not exactly like that, but just more like, I've done this bit. I have to go to that place. Time matters. I have to go tonight, and I got to go talk to that dude. And I couldn't just go drive around town and run people over and have no consequences from that. At least it felt like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember that Mafia was maybe one of the first games that tried to do you have to adhere to traffic laws. You have to. You can't do the like I'm gonna just run over a bunch of people and call it a day. Like you have to kind of follow the narrative, but it's still in an open world, and that was a little jarring too in its own way.
Because you're like, it's like L.A. Noire, like just take me to the next scene, like just take me to the next goodie. I don't need to drive, like you're just wasting my time, even though you put a lot of work into the time waste.
If the driving model's fun, I don't mind it. Sometimes it's fun, like again in Saints Row the Third, that driving model is stupid and fun. And so
the scene where they all sing is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Where they all load up for a mission, your whole gang in the car. And what song is it? I
forget.
Oh my gosh, what do they sing?
Something with a dildo in it, right?
But every single person in the car, starts to just sing. And they sing along with the song that's on the radio, and it's a fantastic little moment.
That could be on the box. Saints Row the Third, there's a dildo in it. That could be the whole slogan.
I mean, that's what I think of the game.
No, it's true.
It's GTA, but with dildos. Yeah.
I mean, basically it's Saints Row 2 was trying to be like GTA. Saints Row 3 said, you know what? Why don't we do our own weird thing? And then 4 lost me because 4 was a little too much of their own thing. I don't know. I should give 4 another chance. I probably
should. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I probably have.
It's fine, but it is over the top. I mean, it takes place in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Your gang leader has become the president of the United States and appointed Keith David, the actor, as your vice president.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Keith David is in it?
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
He is.
Oh, sick. I got to see this.
At a certain point, you do go into Keith David's mind in his nightmare, and he's in purgatory, and his purgatory is him reenacting the entire fight from They Live over and over again against Roddy Piper.
No, that's amazing.
Another great classic movie. Jeez.
It's really good.
That sounds good. I don't know. Everything about that sounds amazing. I love Keith. Was it Keith David?
Keith David.
Yeah.
I always mix up his names. Sometimes I call him David Keith.
David Keith.
Like
well, it's two.
He's got two first names.
He's got two first names, exactly. Yeah, it's like Michael Scott or David Brent or other people on The Office. I can't think of other names, but yeah, same deal. Like I can't keep people straight. If they got two first names or two last names, if your name is Wilson Johnson, freaking F right off. I probably have a Wilson Johnson in my
John Kenny.
John Kenny. See, there's another one.
Yeah.
Or Kenny John.
All right. It goes both ways in almost all these cases.
Yeah, every time.
But in the case of this game, this dildo game,
Saints Row the Third.
Or are you talking
Is
about
it still
Mafia?
a recommend?
Oh yeah, heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's good.
It's a good game.
It's
Keith David
super
really stole
good.
it to me. I've been watching Community. I've been rewatching Community. I saw the Community table read, and Keith David is amazing this 6th season.
I didn't know he
Well,
was
I'm
even
watching
in there.
the
Keith
the
David,
Blanketsburg versus Pellos, the legit Republic of Blanketsburg versus the United people of Fluffy Town, I think, or something. I can't remember.
I don't remember
And he
any of
narrates the
this.
whole thing. It's that war episode in
Oh.
Community.
Oh, right.
And Keith David is narrating.
I
it, and I'm like,
remember
oh, this is
now.
so awesome.
I couldn't remember that at first, but you're totally right. I totally remember that now. So
he is
yeah.
not in Saints Row the Third, I don't think.
No.
Oh, that's
But
what I
he
wanted to
is
ask.
in- he's in
Is
the
it
fourth
him
one.
or is it a satire of him?
No, it's
Oh no,
him.
it's him. It's
him.
absolutely him.
He's happy to be in
Okay.
video games. He's in Halo stuff and he's in everything.
But it would take a lot of balls to hire someone to do Keith David and satirize Keith David, because without actually, no one cares that you would satirize Keith David unless he was involved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, you'd want the
Yeah.
real thing. Why? Yeah. There's
I
no
think
other
you
reason
can
to do
have sex with him in that game.
I think John's right. I think you can.
Because they make fun of Mass Effect in that game, and they did a trailer about all their romance options where they said everyone on your crew is romanceable.
Mhm.
And you know how Mass Effect always treated it as this big unlock where you had to go through a bunch of dialogue and work really hard for it. In that game, you can go up to any crewmate and just go, let's do it. And they will have sex with you right then and there. And it can be anybody. And I think Keith David's one of them.
Well,
So.
he's awesome.
Feminists must love that game.
Oh, you know they do. No, actually, you know what? It was so self-aware. It was never like wieners, dicks. It's not like that. That
Really?
game was more like people who think wieners and dicks are funny. It was meta. I think
Really?
anyway.
So when I saw the ad for the wheelchair dildo gun, where I think the weapon is you ride around in a wheelchair firing dildo rockets.
I don't
Like,
know. I don't want to
I'm
guess.
not wrong. It's a DLC or something that you can get.
I think
I've
that is the
seen it.
DLC. Yeah, I think that's the.
So you're saying
I
that's
never played
ironic
that
to
one.
make fun of people who would buy that and think that's awesome? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, okay.
I think that's
Superb?
the Gat Out of Hell DLC, where all the weapons are based on the 7 deadly sins. I think that's sloth.
Yeah, you're right. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think
They're
that
differently abled or slothy.
here's what I think is probably
It
going
wasn't
on.
a wheelchair; it was a recliner.
Right.
Oh,
it wasn't a
okay.
wheelchair. So
I made it worse than it was. Sorry.
it's
everyone.
okay. Some people need recliners more than they need wheelchairs or whatever. But anyway, the point is this: if that game is less self-aware than I give it credit for, then you'd probably be right. I don't know, but it always seemed like being able to romance everybody felt more like a satire and commentary on video games with romance systems in them, specifically Mass Effect. It was like really, really leaning in hard and making fun of that kind of stuff. So to me, it was never like, ooh, you can have sex with Keith David. It was more like, you know how video games let you do that? We're going to go nuts with it. It's going to be so over the top. It's like South Parking it, kind of. That's how that game felt to me. That's how it felt.
that's kind of, that lines up with my impression of it.
Yeah. What's the name of the song? I want to know that song, John. Crap. I'm finding it. Here it is now. YouTube. They have it.
They did it in both games. They did it in 3, and they also did it in 4, where you do a little car karaoke.
The third singing with Pierce. That's the one. Oh, yeah. Here it is. The sing-along. Oh, here's the female one. Okay, here's the one with the
Apparently
dude.
it's called Just a Friend.
Now it's
Oh
our
my
turn.
God.
Okay, here we go.
Planet Saints.
Why? So we can buy matching suits?
Nothing wrong with wanting to look good.
Oh my gosh, I'm
All
going to
right,
play
let's
Saints Row
go.
the third again. I can just feel it already just looking
We
at
need
it.
some driving music.
Turn
Okay,
that shit up.
here they go.
Do you like mirth leave you terrified?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the one?
Yeah, this is it.
You remember this? Come on.
Oh, yeah, that early in the morning.
Yeah.
Early in the morning. Rising to the street.
Yeah,
Light me up that cigarette and I strap shoes on my feet.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yep, and they just sing the whole way to the mission. It's so good.
I think, okay, and here's what I'm now asking for. Let me go ahead and just put it out in the public. I would like Saints Row the third remaster, please. That'd be wonderful. Do that.
It's here. It's the thing.
I don't know if that looks as good, though. It probably looks like poop right
Well, it's not a remake. It's just we upped the res.
now. Hold on. Saints Row the third.
They say that's a Sublime song?
Yes, it
Someone in
is.
chat? Okay.
We'll see
Yeah.
if YouTube bans my video for it. They may. All right, so let's see. Saints Row the Third Remastered. Oh, this is coming.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
It comes
Oh,
out.
damn.
The chat room says it
Oh,
comes
damn.
out this week. It comes out on Friday.
Oh, damn! I'm
Can we
getting
get a
it.
soundboard explosion like we were?
Oh yeah, I got something. Here you go. Hold on.
Captain,
Oh, that's-
we're under attack.
That's not it.
Oh no! Man the stations, everyone.
Barry.
We're under
You were
attack.
almost a Jill sandwich.
Okay, I put every. You know what? I'll play all of these at the exact same time. Get ready. Here we go.
You were
Barry.
almost a Jill sandwich.
Wow.
See, that's how we celebrate. That comes out Friday. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
like an
excited.
epilepsy was
I
done.
definitely want that. I forgot that the opening scene to that game is you robbing a bank disguised as yourself.
Yeah. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's great. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this now. I had no idea this was coming. Can we? Here, hold on. Saints. I can't believe I'm doing this on the
Sublime What I Got is the name of the song.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. All right, I can't find it on the thing. Anyway, yeah, it looks like Steam, I guess. So I'm getting that. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to buy that game. That's where I'm going to spend a little cash this weekend. You watch me.
You thought
Okay.
you were gonna play a new game.
Well, no. I'm definitely not going to be playing GTA 5 because I already owned it, but it is free on Epic Store. Go get it if you want it. The store got crashed because of it, because people went nuts. And there was also some kind of hack in the game, and it effed the game up a bunch or something. That's a popular game, it turns out, guys. There's a lot of people who buy and play a lot of GTA. So
Yeah, I don't know how you could have that game be the bestseller of the level that it is and still have enough people who still want. I mean, I guess people. I got it. I picked it up on the Epic Store. I had no reason to.
Have you
so
seen
I
what
guess
people
there
have
I
been
answered
doing
my
with
own
it?
question.
like when
Have you seen what they've been doing with it? There was a period of time where there was some guy who was pretending to be a police officer in GTA Online, and he'd go around and arrest perps, and the perps would be other players, like on this weird VoIP service. Like there was this whole world built around it.
yeah,
and
there's
it was a
a
really popular
whole, like-
stream for a while, and
There's a whole like GTA Online roleplay community.
yeah, something like that. And
There
it's-
was
it's wild.
I saw some. I think it might have even been a Kotaku article about some lady who pretended to be the sweet driver's ed instructor, but she would murder people sometimes.
Oh, geez.
Like she had a different personality, and if somebody was rude to her, she would like change her voice and instruct them to drive somewhere and murder them.
Wow. Really?
Like there's a whole like that's a rabbit hole
Yeah.
that people should probably go down.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going down and learning more. I don't want to play it, but I want to know more. But it sounds like role.
Watch some on Twitch.
It's just role playing, People role play.
It's role playing.
Yeah.
Role playing's great.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's a little maybe offensive
I'm
to some
not grossed
senses.
out, or I'm just saying it's. I think that's why it's continued on for some reason. The people have decided it's popular.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
they like it.
GTA Online is a bona fide hit. It is prints money basically. Time will tell if Red Dead has that kind of staying power. I really like what they're doing in Red Dead Online. It's very cool, but I don't go in there all the time, so I don't know. I don't go into GTA Online either, but it's an interesting thing. If you've never gotten a taste of it, well, it's free at the moment, so I guess go get it. Nintendo did a thing this week that made me wet myself. I'm still cleaning up all the pee. I'm sitting in pee right now as I think about it. Again, Nintendo showed off new Paper Mario game called The Origami King, and I'm seriously just freaking out. I cannot wait. This game has me so excited. I love Paper Mario. It was one of my favorite games. The one for the GameCube, forgot the full name of it. Paper Mario and the Secret Kingdom of the Key Master, or some name like that. Something dumb like that. It's basically a turn-based JRPG, but it's these little Marios and characters from the Mushroom Kingdom. Everyone's made out of paper, and like the Mario and Luigi games that were on the DS, they're similar to this, but they just turn that world into this big RPG, and they do really creative stuff with the fact that everything's made out of paper. And in this one, it looks like they really go for it because everything's made out of origami and folded. The world's got all kinds of foldy stuff. The best, if you've never played any of the Paper Mario games, the best analog is the SNES Super Mario RPG, which...
See, that's the funny thing is that's why I never played any of the other RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Because I did play that, and I went to Paper Mario because everybody said, oh, it's the spiritual successor. And I went, where's all the characters? Why isn't this a continuation? This is a different thing. I hate different things.
Yeah.
And I turned it off.
You didn't like different things.
But
love it.
I've heard nothing but good things. I probably will play this one.
So you like the Mario part of Paper Mario, just not the paper.
The paper's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
you ever
all
seen
together.
paper?
They didn't. It didn't. You know, it wasn't a continuation.
It's like if somebody said, it's like if you got done watching Back to the Future, and someone was like, "Oh, there's a sequel to that. It's called 12 Monkeys." Like yes, there's time travel related to it, but it didn't seem like the same thing to me. It didn't seem like you could say that's a follow-up to it. It was completely different. It had RPG mechanics and Mario was there, but it was not a sequel to that game. It was not a sequel to those characters or that world. It was a different thing.
Wholly different thing. You're absolutely right. And the 3DS Paper Mario game was a total departure even from the Paper Mario games, and a lot of people didn't like it for that. It was a creative side-scrolling adventure thing, but it didn't have the RPG elements that I love so much about Paper Mario. So I'm really glad they're getting back to that. It seems like they're getting back to that hardcore, and I am so excited to get I'm going to up to my neck in that. I love those games. So that's
Can I ask
coming.
a dumb question.
Yeah.
Do they ever explain why he's paper?
They don't explain it.
He's just paper?
I think they just live it. Like everyone's like last time it was all about stickers. The 3DS game, so you were collecting a lot of stickers and fighting sticker dudes and getting stickers in a big sticker album and collecting all of it and that sort of thing. But in the previous ones, everything was just had this cool like flat quality to it. And when Mario had to get through a weird tight space, he could because he's flat. You know, he's two-dimensional, so he can just go down this hole and then come out the other side. So there's a lot of that neat kind of traversal stuff. But the actual combat was just, you know, turn-based combat with some cool timing mechanics, just like Super Mario RPG was very, very based on that. And oh man, I just love them. I love them so much. I don't know what it is. There's something magical about those games. So if they can really bring that back, and I think they're ready to. And this also, by the way, came out of nowhere. Just like zero announcement ahead of time. It wasn't even one of these direct video things. It was just, oh hey, we have a beloved franchise coming back on the Switch, and it'll be here in like 2 months. I'm like, what? Like nobody knew it was even being worked on. So I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Anyway, really, Nintendo and I are getting along great right now. Couldn't be.
Sure sounds like it.
Yeah, couldn't be better right now. Animal Crossing is my favorite thing right now, and I can't wait for this. And Switch is just doing great. And there's so many cool indie games on it. It's just great. All right. Artifact 2 is a thing. Never once did I play Artifact 1.
Well, you weren't alone in that.
I think I did.
Did you? What'd you think of it when you played it?
I don't know. I hadn't had a chance to sink my mind into it yet when the great kerfuffle happened.
Yeah, the kerfuffle.
So I thought it might be something I'd play. I thought the dragons were animated super cute and the battlefields looked great. I don't know. Everything looked good. I liked the trailer. And I you know what? I never actually ended up playing, but I watched a lot of streams of it. That's what it was. So I was exploring whether or not I'd play it, and then the kerfuffle happened. So
yeah,
I just think it's interesting that they're going to try again.
Yeah,
because it was a pretty epic fail.
Oh, for sure, right?
Overall, it's like as far as games go in terms of launches, like that game didn't launch very strong. Had a lot of backlash. At one point, the game's Twitch genre was overrun by pornography, and no one noticed because nobody was watching it, so it was running rampant for a while. You know, there's lots of bad news associated with Artifact, and so I admire it. I'm interested because I think they have something interesting.
Wait, tell me about this porno thing. How did that happen? What did they do? Hack?
So no, it's that Artifact, like all games, get a channel, right? You can search by game. Say, I want to find all the Doom streams, right? Or the WoW streams.
Sure.
So you go, let's find all the Artifact streams. Except nobody was streaming it. You know, it's one of those 60 viewers things. Not a problem. Not every game has streamership.
Sure.
But ne'er-do-wells, sometimes called trolls, decided to hijack the channel for, just to watch the world burn. So there was some bad stuff. There was some snuff channels going on in there.
Geez.
There was porn. There was them at the time of shooting it happened in Australia. At that time, they were broadcasting that. Like they had taken over. Like all the streams under Artifact were all bad news, and it had gone on for a while, and noticed because nobody was watching.
Oh, that bums me out to even hear that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, so it's like there's a cavalcade of bad news tied to the Artifact ship, and Valve usually has a really good sterling reputation with their games. So I'm really curious. Like, to me, I'm like, you just cancel this. There's 1,000 card games in there. Do you really need to add one more to Universe? Maybe just let it go, like have it released, but just leave it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm curious.
Do you think? Awesome. I can't imagine what it's like to work at Twitch and try to manage this, but I wonder what they have to do, right? Because lots of illegal stuff will get thrown up on a stream. Well, I remember one day I was like, should my podcast be under just talking, or should I put these, which is where they are now, or should I put them under the podcast listing? Because the podcast listing seems like the right one, but no one's in there. Like, there's no discovery. Nobody's in there. They all use just talking. All of them. Even podcasts that are clearly doing podcast live recordings, they're hanging out in the in the just chat thing. Well, I remember digging through there one day, just going, oh, okay, this is sort of like what I do, and here's this, and here's this, and then I run into some channel with a bunch of German text, and I get for it to load, and it shows up, and it is just hardest of the hardest core, gnarly, porny hoo-ha I've ever seen in my life. Like, just all of a sudden, just blah, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how does this happen at Twitch? Is someone asleep at the wheel? Do they have like controls for this stuff?
They have more channels than they have employees. Like, or well, I guess that's not really a good argument. They use computers. It doesn't. But you know what I mean? Like, they probably can't. Well, they probably can, right? It's their service. They can detect who's on. They must have boob recognition technology.
They probably do.
For all the bans they issue.
Yeah.
For even, having just a halter top, let alone being in your undies. Right. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know this of that whole Artifact thing. Not only did I not play the game, so I never really learned what the deal was with that card game, but I also did not know a thing about the story you're telling right now. I had no idea.
I kind of assumed, all websites are constantly under attack, right? So, I assume a big company like Twitch is constantly seeing some kind of activity that can only be described as madness, because it doesn't make sense really why you would do any of it. And the people who make that, I think that some of it's that's the point, right? It's just a poke and prod for vulnerabilities of any kind. I mean, just to break the system.
Yeah, I guess so. John, did you play it? Did you attempt it?
No,
I didn't either. Why weren't we drawn to that? I don't know what happened there, because I love Valve and I was excited to hear when they announced it.
Well, they had the 3 tables, and I think that was a hard sell for a lot of people.
Yeah, that may have been
you were playing 3 games at the same time, but you both had one health pool.
Well, for me, it was hearing that the Magic guy was doing it. That's what got me excited, because I heard, oh, wait, the guy who designed Magic the Gathering, the granddaddy of all these things, made this? That's going to be a surefire hit. And then it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think I might have heard something now that the dust had settled on it, that there was some creative differences towards the end, and they finished up the game without him.
Oh,
doesn't mean anything. They're smart people at Valve, but
right.
I don't know. I've played a lot of Richard Garfield games like Robo Rally, King of Tokyo, Magic the Gathering. He hasn't really disappointed me, although all creative, everyone fails. So I'm sure he's got bad games in the salvo, but his games are usually pretty good and well thought out. So it's very shocking that Artifact isn't successful.
was such a tanker, dude.
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh well, I hope he's still getting kickbacks from Wizards of the Coast for Magic.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Fine. That guy like that is gonna do whatever he wants to do after the success he had with Magic.
It's anyway, I made the world's greatest trading card game. Oh, and the second one failed. Big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad, Valve. Oh.
Do you think?
Anyway,
do you think?
Want to draft?
So what's 2.0 got that we want? Let's see. Polygon's got the article.
I didn't even look at it. That's the extent of my research on this article. I was shocked to find out there was a 2.0.
That's a real good indicator for Artifact 2.0 is that we cared enough to talk about it, but not look any further.
Well, it says here, Valve reminds players they can get into the beta by purchasing current version of Artifact. So now, if you buy Artifact at all, you get Artifact 2.0 beta access. They're going to do testing gameplay, balance, hero identity, color identity, blah, blah, blah. They're only letting veterans of the original game in, whatever that means. There weren't very many people that played it.
Yeah, 7 people are gonna beta test it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't play it, because it's based on Dota 2.
Oh, and you really don't like Dota 2, so done.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
none of us have
like,
a nice history of being complimentary towards the game.
Yeah.
I don't hate Dota 2, but it's just like, hey, this is set in your favorite horse racing universe isn't gonna win me over either. Like, I just don't care.
Mhm.
Like, there's not a deep-seated Dota lore that is really going to excite me. You know, and I think what I was gonna say was that Hearthstone maybe made me realize that maybe I'm not as into card games as I believed I was into card games. And so I feel like if there's going to be a card game that brings me in, it needs to really be something special, and going, this is our card game based on Dota 2 isn't going to be the headline that grabs me, especially from Valve and Steam, who, you know, I don't always like the way they price and build their methods to get money out of their free to play games and stuff like that. So it just turned me off almost immediately.
I understand. So the minute they said, "Ooh," you went, "Ooh, Valve's working on a new card game." Oh, it's based on Dota 2.
Right. I think there was a level of that too, where it was Valve's making a game again, and you get all excited. And what does this mean? It's a card game based on Dota 2, and it's like, oh, well, everything you said I hate. So great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're gonna try again, so maybe second time's the charm. We'll find out soon enough.
It's funny how that is, though, because the reverse John exists out there, right? When Hearthstone gets launched, they're going, who wants to play Blizzard characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the reverse John is out there, so, you know.
He
But,
exists.
but
I'm
no,
sure-
the point I wanted to make was I think people more readily get into Blizzard games than they do other IPs. Like, I think your scenario, the regular John scenario is more common than the reverse John.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they've had the advantage of having other games to build these characters, and there is an element of me being unfair, going, well, I'm not going to give you a chance to make me care about these characters because I just see them as Blizzard knockoffs that you've repurposed into your other game, and I'm not interested.
Right.
And, you know, that's reductive and not necessarily fair for them, but it's also true.
I would play a tactics-based Team Fortress game. I would. Because there's a case where they didn't invent the IP because it came from modders from the Quake days, but still, that's a game that Valve owns and produces and had a lot of success with and really haven't heard much about in a long time. I'd do that. Little cartoon-looking dudes. If it was nicely made and looked good and was kind of beefy. I don't know. I guess after playing and really enjoying Gears Tactics, I just feel like a lot of different stuff could be a tactics game, and so I don't know.
You can put tactics game after just about everything and have me excited.
Yeah.
It's what I've
How
kind
about
of
a Super
learned.
Mario Tactics game?
Yeah.
Yes,
heck
it
yeah.
exists though.
Oh yeah, it does exist. Yeah, it does. It's
Like XCOM or whatever?
yeah.
Like
It's
XCOM.
Mario versus Rabbids, that game, and it's good. It's a very good game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I remember now. You're right. It does exist.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Kind of recent though, so you can be forgiven for that one. But yeah, like, and I've always said, this is the other thing, you know, these auto battlers that we've talked about. Bo's not a big fan. I'm sort of wishy-washy on auto battlers as well. I like the Hearthstone one. The Battlegrounds is okay, but not really my big jam. But if Mario or if Nintendo did an auto battler with all the Nintendo characters, all bets are
I
off,
would
dude.
play it.
Yeah, I'd play the shit out of that.
But here's how much I love tactics games. Valve could go, we're doing a tactics game based on Dota 2 Tactics, and I'd be like, I'll try it. I wouldn't be excited about it. I wouldn't go out and go, oh my gosh, you guys, until I played it, but I would play it.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
So-
I'm a fan of that sort of thing. Like, I don't mind. I like it when other weird IPs play in familiar space. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the name of the game. Original Xbox, PlayStation 2, maybe PC. I don't remember if they had it back then. But there was a Simpsons game that was basically a Grand Theft Auto ripoff.
Mm-hmm. Hit and run.
Hit
I
and run.
believe.
Amazing game. It was so good. And it had real like voice actors from the show, original scripts from writers from the show. Like, it had a really fun storyline, but also the action and the stuff you did in that game were like legit fun. So you could turn around tomorrow and say, hey, they're making a Futurama turn-based tactics game. And I'd shit myself. I'd be so excited.
Man, we're in a world where superhero movies just dominate the box office. Why isn't there an Avengers Tactics game?
Exactly. That's a great question. You got
because Avengers don't need cover. That's the problem. Cover has to make sense.
Yeah, but
imagine
but
Hulk
they
being like,
started to branch out and get so creative with that. I mean, you could have characters like Hulk and Wolverine where it's fine for them to just stand out in the open and get shot, but that's maybe not cool for a Spider-Man. He's got to take cover up in the buildings elsewhere.
Yeah. And you could have, people like the Punisher, they need traditional cover. But people like, I don't know. Well, the Hulk's a good example. The Hulk or the Thing, you don't worry about that so much. In fact, maybe they can't even stand behind cover, or they act as cover. Like, they would be temporary cover for Hawkeye to get behind and stand and just hang out there until we decide the Thing needs to move again or whatever, or he's taking too much damage. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, Rusty Nails has a good suggestion. Make it more of an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deal.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I'd
play that.
Yep.
Like I said, you could put almost anything in front of Tactics. I'll play it.
I'd play core podcast Tactics with 3 of us are the characters.
I would. What would your special ability be?
Oh, geez. My special... my special would be... I don't... You guys tell me what my special should be. I don't know. What would it be? I can't think of anything.
I need to know more about what the game does.
All right, here's John's special.
A gun, like you open your laptop and record a podcast.
John's special is this.
Wait, I have it.
All the team, you all decide where you're going to go. Even John, you've all said, okay, you're going here, here, and here. And then John goes, instead, he goes that way and goes up another way. It goes a whole nother way. And then gets
John's
real quiet.
Special abilities disappears from his teammates when all the objectives completed.
Yeah, and he gets real quiet for some reason. And you're not sure why he's so quiet, but all right, well, whatever. And then we'll just go for it. And here's Bo's special. He reaches behind his backpack, his fancy backpack, and pulls out what looks like a chain with a ball on the end, like a mace, except, and you're swinging it over your head like you're going to huck it, kind of like a grenade in Gears, except it's a rope with a soap on it, and it's got some kind of weird something on the soap, and then you're going to take that thing and you're going to huck it. So you got Nerdtacular Bo soap, and you're going to throw it at them, and it's going to be real bad. Blow up into suds, make them all slippery, like bad.
Oh yeah, it has to make the ground slippery. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. I don't know what it would be. I have to pronounce
Yours
somebody's...
would be screaming. John would scare you. It would be like a Banshee's wail that would unnerve everyone in the air.
I'd do that, yeah.
Exactly.
And they'd all run off. All right.
See, I feel like we'd all have perks and disadvantages. Like what you described for me would be a disadvantage. Like that'd be a negative for having John on your team, is that there's a 50% chance during group activities John might be off doing something different when we all get to there.
Right.
I don't know what my perk would be, but Scott, like your perk would be you'd have the Sonic Scream. Your negative, your detriment to the team would be that your map, you would have no auto map ability, so you would constantly be lost.
This is a real detriment. This is a debuff is what this is. This is a debuff. So
anybody playing the Scott class would just constantly be going, where am I going?
Yeah,
where
what am I doing? What wall is that? I've been here before.
Where?
Oh yeah, right. This is where you save. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I fully admit it. That would be my biggest weakness. I don't know why, but yeah, like I'm of the opinion that you could put about any IP into a tactics game, and it would be a fun idea in the right hands. Thanks.
Oh, I got Bo's.
Okay,
I know Bo's.
What is it?
His perk would be that he's kind of a specialized class. He's going to be slightly better at almost everything than anybody else, but there's a decent chance that he'll play while you're not playing the game and get sick of it and give up before everybody else is done.
Exactly.
I like it. You think that's how do you feel, Bo? Yeah, all right. That's perfect.
Yep.
All right. That's nice.
Is that an underhanded comment about my playtime in Deep Space
No, you're not sick of it yet. You're still playing it with us,
yeah.
but you are significantly higher level than everybody.
Yeah.
It's true.
You can always tell when, but see, that's the thing. It just shows how dedicated you are to a game. Like, you throw your whole guts into it. And,
I'd say it's more of a comment on your Apex Legends, where we were like, yeah, let's play this. Let's do this. And like 2 days later, Bo's like, I'm done.
yeah. We're like, why? And you're like, well, I'm level 900.
It was too good. The game was
I'm
too
done
good.
with-
I'd
done
be
with
giving
this
up
game.
too much. I don't have the time to play a game that addictive.
Yeah. How do you, so when they announce things like right now, season 5 just started in that game, when you hear that, do you ever go, ooh, I should get back into Apex? Or do you just like,
No,
yeah,
I'm out. Fortunately, Apex is a shining diamond on the turd pile that is Battle Royale, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty easy to say, well, it is a Battle Royale, so no thanks.
That's interesting. And I know you haven't tried it, but we should try it one night and stream it or something, but you should try Warzone. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Maybe. I don't know. I like competitive. I like the Overwatch style a bit better than I do the battle. Like,
Yeah.
I like team-based shooting, and
Yeah.
deathmatch is fun with friends for laughs. Like a GoldenEye, Gears multiplayer, like done a lot of it, but it's fun when you're playing with people and yelling.
Yeah.
The online bit gets old for me pretty quick. I can only do that for so long unless I'm like trying to try hard in a game, like
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah. Like Heroes of the
And
Storm.
I decided that was that ramp. It was like, are you going that direction? Or you got to get off, because there's a world full of games, and I don't need to play this one for more than 50 hours that I've already put into it in 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He played less time than us, like when you consider days, but I think he still has more played time in it than me.
Oh yeah, I think so. Right? But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I admire it, and sometimes I'll see Bo's playtime or his level in something, and I'll just go, I suck. I don't play video games. I demo them. Like, there are times where I'll play. I mean, this is about the only thing lately that's not true of is Animal Crossing. I play it every day. But there are plenty of games where I'm just like, I'll get into it. I'm thinking, oh man, I really played a lot of that. And then I'll look at Bo's playtime on Twitch or on Steam, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't play this at all compared to you.
Yeah, but you go to bed on time. Like, when we're talking, you're like, I gotta go to bed. I have work tomorrow, and I'm like, I do too. I'm still going to bed at 3 and waking up at 7.
Yeah.
And that's I'll probably die before you, even though you're my senior. But well, shit, that's how this goes.
Well, this senior will come to your funeral and extol the virtues of your playtime, your slash played. I'll tell everybody.
Everyone's crying, like, I wish Bo saw me more. And you're like, no,
Don't worry.
he was an angel. And he was a great man who played many video games.
That's
I
right.
know
Shame on
you're
you.
all sad that he's dead, but he was very good at video games.
Yes,
He's
he
now in
maxed.
the
He
great
maxed
big
out.
arcade in the sky playing Joust with
And
Let
all
me-
of you
Michael
who
Jackson.
selfishly hoped for more time with him,
Yeah.
we're trying to deny his true gradness at video games. So.
Yeah. Let me be your eulogy giver. But who am I kidding? I'm dying first. Don't worry about it. I was on the treadmill today. I thought I was going to die on there. So I'll
Rusty Nail said something that I was noticed by ranked players. I think if Heroes would have happened 5 years sooner, I would have.
You would have gone pro, dude.
Yeah, I would have been full. I would have been all in on trying to get him on that that HGC business.
Yeah.
I just felt a little slower than everyone.
What
And,
would
like,
you
as
What
an
would you
age
have said if let's say you were in that position and you were playing at a pro level, and let's say you were even on a team or something? How would all that HCC stuff falling apart? Like, what would that have done to you? Would that have just destroyed your soul?
No, it'd probably be a good thing. They weren't making any money. Like, that's the thing too. Is like all the young folk in there. That's fun, and they don't need that much.
Yeah.
But it's a little on the low side. Like, I've got a standard of living here, people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, so I would have been like, well, fine, I'll find better opportunities.
Sure.
I don't know. I still would have been disappointed, but ultimately, I think I would have been at the point like I need to make some real money. Like, if I wasn't succeeding financially in HGC,
Mm-hmm.
or it is time to find something new to do anyway.
Right, but you would
A
have
lot of
enjoyed.
people
You
did
would have.
that.
You would have really enjoyed that competition though for a while it lasted. Like, you would have had a ball in that probably.
Oh my god! Like, I love video games and competing, and I love that game. Like, I think, and I love team sports. I think playing with people and cooperating and be like, it's just perfect. It's just, I just a little too old, a little too slow.
Yeah.
I got schooled by Sam. Mind you, he's like the number. He's been second place in Fortnite, and he's like a millionaire now.
Yeah.
But like, when you play against like pros and you're almost like you have that 1% gap, that 1% is wider than the 99% in a very real way, right?
Yeah.
Like even if you're up to that amount, it's like you're not hitting a pro league.
Sure.
No one wants to baby you or you to be always on top of your perfect effort. Your baseline has to be really high.
Yeah.
And so I think if I was younger, I would have it.
Yeah. I would have watched you play. We would have rooted for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, Ghosts of Tsushima, or how do you say it? Tsushima, right? John,
Yeah.
does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That seems good.
It looks really good, like beautiful and good. Yeah, it looks a little like Assassin's Creed Japan, which is actually a thing I've been wanting.
Yeah, I was gonna say people have been asking for that forever, so it's weird to hear it said detrimentally now.
Yeah, it is weird to hear that, but also Assassin's Creed in such a different place now. Like it's barely recognizable as what Assassin's Creed used to be, and they did so pretty deftly, I think. That I don't even know what this comparison means anymore. Like if what they're saying to if what they're saying is, and I don't think this is what they're saying, but if they were saying, hey, this is like Assassin's Creed Odyssey today, I'd be over the moon about this game because that game was rad. And
it's a complisalt.
And having it lean so hard into RPG territory and become way more than just what Assassin's Creed used to be, that it's one of my favorite, most anticipated franchises. The new, we've talked about last week, but this, foray into Norse or what am I trying to say, Vikings and stuff is super exciting. Can't wait. If somebody told me Tsushima is that, but in Japan, like I'd be over the moon. But I don't think that's what they mean. I think what they mean is it's like sneaky like the old Assassin's Creeds, and you're doing a little stealthy this and walking up behind a guy and stabbing him and slicing that guy's neck, and then it's that kind of game. But maybe that's okay too. I don't know. I'm actually excited about it, despite my.
Well, there may be other surprises too for that game.
Yeah,
feels like they haven't shown a lot yet.
What do you think? What else do you think could be there? Like
big dragons and stuff.
Yeah, good romance.
Like,
stuff.
is it meant to be very realistic?
I think it's supposed to be super historic, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
I want it to be like, what was that game? I can't remember what they were called. There was a whole series of them where you could like poison little rice patties and leave them on the ground.
Tenchu.
Yeah.
Was that it?
I want it to be like that.
I can't believe I remember Tenchu. Good Lord. I haven't played that game in 100 years, and I remembered it right off the bat. But yeah, Tenchu was great. It was a very cool game.
Where guards would just be walking down a hallway, this little rice patty in the middle of the hall, and they'd be like, they bend down and they'd eat it and poison themselves and die.
Yeah.
And then you could do it again 10 seconds later and someone else would fall for it. It was great.
Yeah, that game was great.
I think the thing about Ghost is that it really seems to want to capture that feel of a samurai film.
Yeah.
With the different modes they have. I think that's what I find appealing.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And also the fidelity on a,
well, the art style's cool too.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really pretty. Yeah. This is the who did Sly Fox? It's that team. It's that group. They're a lot. They're actually a lot like the I can't think of any names today. What's wrong with me? They're a lot like Naughty Dog. They started with like Naughty Dog started with what, like the Bandicoot games, and then suddenly they're like the premier thing, making these, making Last of Us 2 now, and of course the Nathan Drake games. Those are just kind of masterpieces in their own way. And that Sly Fox game was this cartoony, goofy kind of platformer / stealth game. And then this just looks like, they've graduated from high-end video game making school. It just looks amazing. I can't think of the company though. Something they did a
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch, that's it. Gosh dang it. They did a thing for me once. Here, listen to this. This is old. Oh my gosh, this is going to be weird to hear this. Hold on. Sucker Punch.
Really?
Yeah, check this out. If I can find it. Is this it?
Let's nail this sucker's ass.
No.
Yeah, that was nice of them to do that.
I've got it somewhere. Somebody went to an E3 and got them to do an ELR bumper back when they were selling.
Oh.
They were selling the Sly Cooper thing. Or Sly Cooper, that was it.
Yeah, they did the Infamous series.
Oh right, they're the Infamous guys. Exactly. They're great.
And to tie it all the way back around to other stuff we do, they're the reason Stanley Billings in our D&D game, his magic is neon pink.
For real?
Because in Second Son, you got powers from things that were around you, and one of the power sets you got was neon. And I always thought that like neon pink energy that you shot out in that game looked super cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's perfect for Stanley. I'm stealing that. So that's where it's from.
I like that game. That game was cool. Except one of the voice actor guys looked too much like the real actor, and it bugged me the whole time.
You were like, oh, I see them.
It's too much. It was like, oh, you're exactly like your real self, and it's weird. Like your head's on the wrong body. I don't know. They've done that before with other things. It may have even been. Wait, who does Joel? Can't think of names today.
Joel?
Yeah, and then Last of Us. Freaking, he's
I
in
know.
everything.
David Hayter.
Not the
No,
crazy
not David
hair.
Hayter.
He's got the crazy hair down and the earrings. He's a super nice guy. He's Troy Baker. Freaking follows me on
That's
Twitter.
it. I kept wanting to say Nolan North, but no, the other one.
Yeah, the other one. Those two are they do a thing together, right? They watch something
They
on
do.
YouTube.
They're buddies. It's great.
Yeah. Anyway, Troy Baker. He what was my point? Oh, that was him. I think was the face that was driving me crazy because it's his face on that kid's body, and it just always felt weird to me. And then he also did it in one of the Call of Duty games, the one that had Kevin Spacey in it. I forgot. It was like the Modern Warfare or no, Future Warfare, whatever it was called. And he was the main dude. And every time I'd take his helmet off, it was just like Troy Baker with this like soldier's body, and it was weird. Weird. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Did I ever tell you about? I told you guys about the time me, Liam O'Brien, and Troy Baker, Nicole Spag, and Eric Van Skyhawk were all playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer on a PlayStation. And we were all on comms, had headphones on, and we were playing. And this is right before Troy Baker really blew up, so nobody really knew who he was yet. And he was doing the most amazing Tracy Morgan impression you've ever heard in your life. Like, have I told you guys this? I think I've told you this.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't mean to repeat my
I
story.
might be on.
I've definitely heard it, but I also listen to TMS and
yeah, that's a good point. I may have told someone else.
Too.
It was so crazy. He could do him so well that I thought I didn't feel this because I knew who it was, but you could be convinced that you were playing with Tracy Morgan in a game of in a match of Call of Duty. It was so weird. It was so weird. Anyway,
some people are just uncannily amazing at voices, and it just boggles the mind.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun back then. Anyway, where are we now? Oh, I know where we are. We're going to talk about games we're playing. I played, along with you two, a whole bunch of Deep Rock Galactic, now in 1.0 full release, out of early access. It's been on Steam for year and a half in development. Very active community, very active developers. People loved that game almost immediately, and it never stopped having rave reviews. And now it's done and kind of glorious, and we've been playing it. Thoughts, feelings, comments. John, tell us, what do you love about Deep Rock Galactic?
Oh, it's so good. And it's funny because when you told us about this game and you were like, hey, I'm kind of thinking this, I heard other people in our circle of friends going, yeah, maybe we play that. I went and looked and I was like, all right, well, what's so great about it? And I couldn't find anybody saying like, this is what's so great about it.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, it plays well, it's fun. And it's like, okay, well, that's a lot of games. Why is this so great? And the truth is, I can't really express what it is except that all the pieces assemble the way it should. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the game I wish Anthem was when it came out. It's themed perfectly. Mm-hmm. It matches that theme perfectly. It's dumb fun. 9 times out of 10, if you think of something stupid to do in that game, you can do it and you are rewarded in some way or fashion for it. If you knock a barrel into a place it's not supposed to be, you get yelled at for it. Like they acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And it's just really fun co-op together. And it's just a really good time. And even the things that I don't think it nails quite perfectly, like maybe some of the dwarf voices are It sounds like they got they got their friends, or they were just like, "I'll do it. Why not?" It's perfect. Like, it's not great, and you go, "Really? This is the voice they're going with?" And within 5 seconds, you're like, "Perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I want it to be, and this is perfect."
Yeah.
And it just everything about that game, buying drinks, which wastes your currency for basically nothing. Sometimes you get a buff, but most of the time nothing. You sit there and you buy the drink, and it's like, well, am I going to get to drink it? Sure. Okay. I hit the button and I drink it down, and then I click the mouse again and I throw my mug at my friends, and it is immediately funny, and it's extremely fun, and it just hits on every level, and that's all I can say. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect co-op fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's totally my take as well. And I'm not even much other than playing with you guys. I don't really go out of my way to like, I got to play everything multiplayer and that's all I care about. It's not really my jam. I like single player experiences, and opinions may differ on this point, but I also think this game's pretty fun on your own. I prefer it with friends because I don't know, it's just crazy and you get more rewards, and there's other reasons why it's awesome. But I get it's almost like I'm playing two different games. When I play with you guys, I'm playing this like raucous cooperative experience where things can get really hairy. We have to help each other out, blah, blah, blah. In single player, there's kind of a weird, almost like a Metroid vibe to it, where I feel like I'm just alone, because I am. And the caves are deep and dark, and these flares are lighting your way, and there's almost like a kind of a roguelike quality to it that I really get into. And even if I fail a mission, I get stuff that I can go back with and still spend and use. And they've got that loop down so well that I think it can work. Even if you're like an antisocial player and you're like, well, is this fun for me on my own? I would say, yeah. Like, there's a lot to have fun with here.
I enjoyed single player. The robot you get with it really helps.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I explore every nook and cranny in a cave because there are secrets. They do hide. Not every level has it, but they do hide secret things. And I'm always looking for every little room. And I enjoy it. The interesting thing about this game is that, like, most of the games you compare it to don't have meaningful work outside of the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have a quest, it's kill 10 things or hold this point, or it's very simple and basic.
Mm-hmm.
Where I find, like, you could take the shooting out of this and it would still be the activity of going and collecting the different minerals, navigating and exploration are also well done, that the shooting just is like a cherry on top of all of it.
I agree.
That makes sense. Like,
I agree.
probably wouldn't play it without the shooting, but it would be very functionally interesting still without it.
I agree. But see, on top of that, which is nice, the shooting is actually fun. Like, it's meaty and feels like it's got impact, and it's also not an unlimited resource. You got to be careful, and you got to call down these drills that are full of restock and for your ammo and stuff. The idea that you're a bunch of dwarves in space in the future, but you're basically these archetypes that have existed in fantasy forever about dwarves. But hey, what if dwarves from like Lord of the Rings were also dwarves from freaking 40K time, way out in space, and they're still, all they want to do is mine shit. That's their whole wish in life. And they love mining, and they can't wait to do more of it. And they've just got that whole package is so much fun. And John's right to compare this to what he had hoped he would have gotten out of Anthem, and Anthem didn't deliver, which is this really cohesive, amazing, get in, get out, have fun. Don't wait for a lot of load times. Don't dink around with too many settings. Just play this game and have fun that Anthem should have had and didn't. And you kind of get a piece of that here. You don't fly like you do in Anthem, but like all the other stuff is more fun than any time I spent in Anthem. And honestly, I like this. I think this is more fun and feels better than like Destiny. That's going to be controversial, but I really feel that way. So,
well, because there's no work. Like, I think it's the work part. Like, it's the activity of rushing. Like, you could just end the level, but no, they decided that there's this whole drama about getting back to your drop pod.
Yeah.
And freaking Molly's going to walk up ceilings and not make it easy sometimes. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it isn't. And there's a high degree of unpredictability and variability that make it so that when you play with your friends, you're not quite sure what to expect. And if it doesn't happen from the game systems, it happens from your friend, I don't know, clicking the return drop button pretty early.
Yeah.
And during a swarm and going, oh shit, and it, like that, those create fun organic moments that the team of developers can't, that emerging gameplay, they can't just script it into a high production game. Like they have to let games be weird for them to be fun in that context. This is a perfect example of you ruin the souffle by putting too much detail, and that's hard for a AAA studio to change its stripes sometimes and be okay with doing weird things like that. And the indie developer isn't, and they made a special little game here.
Yeah, and remember, a couple of key factors here that really work really well, and there's also some hilarity in it. Like you mentioned, Molly sometimes goes up the wall, but the game, every time you play, is different. There's never the same cave. There's never the same drop. It's always different, even if the mission has to be redone.
Yeah, but even like the graphics are kind of abstract, which is like, okay, it's still cool. It's great. It works. But I will sit there and look at a weird collection of pixels and polygons and go, is this something I need to mine? What is this? Is it dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, in a AAA game with high-res textures, I ignore everything that they've put so much work into making realistic.
Right.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm here, I'm fascinated by this weird bulb-shaped thing. Is that a resource? Is it dangerous? Should I walk towards it? It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a real fun in that. And you're right. It's like, I like to call this low poly, high poly, because it's low polygon on purpose. There's a style here that they're aiming for, and everything's kind of, polygonal and flat, but there's an incredible lighting system, and, all those dynamics are there.
The lighting gameplay is cool because you have to light up the areas, but staying in the dark allows you to see resources.
Yeah.
It's
really neat. It's really neat. I cannot recommend it enough. There's a reason why it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews, really since it launched in early access. I'm excited to see what their roadmap looks like and what they do next. It's very, very cool. So.
Oh, I know a few things.
Oh, what do you know?
So next month, there are 2 new submission types. So, the bolo caps and the avocado flowers.
Yeah.
The alpaca blooms.
Whatever. Nerd.
It is pretty nerdy.
Just kidding.
It's pretty nerdy.
So, but they're adding 2 more of those, and then after that, there's 2 more mission types.
Ooh, all right.
So we have like get the mules and get the Mordecai,
mm-hmm.
and now we're gonna have 2 new ones.
What's the other? So there's the mules, the Mordecai, then
there's the aqua. Collect the aqua.
There's an assassination mission.
Right.
You gotta kill dreadnoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes
kill dreadnoughts, and then there's kill something else.
They're all really unique and fun stuff. So I'm excited to hear that there'll be even more of that, because they really thought that stuff through. I love having to pick the arms out to get the Molly things back together, and doing that while still trying to make sure we take care of a wave. And egg collection. I forgot about the eggs.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing, to like Bo's credit, the amount of times that we've been doing a mission and all of a sudden someone will run by with just like a giant orb in their hand or something. You go, wait a minute, where the heck was that? And it was like, well, I saw a weird thing on a wall, so I started picking at it, and then this dropped out. Now I'm gonna go drop it in Molly.
You found a big green crystal the other day. Like, hey, guys, look at what I got. And we're like, what is it? I don't know. And you're like, so we put it in, and then I was like, I know what it is. It's Jadiz. And we got 12 Jadizes, and we were all happy.
I forgot about the Jadiz. So the other cool thing was Bo was in some hallway and said, hey, you guys got to come see this. And we go in there, and there's like, I'd never seen one of these before. I'm sure this is common to people that play the game more, but there was a chest-looking contraption, and then a big piston sticking out of it. And you were like, well, I've already collected the one. Let's go get the other. John found it with his driller, and then came and like jammed it in there. And then all 3 of us got random drops, like cool. I got a couple of cosmetics and some other stuff. Like, that's the other thing. The game's super customizable, so your dude, you can deck him out and make him look just stupid crazy with crazy beard options and everything else. I mean, they are freaking dwarves after all. There's a little Left 4 Dead in here. There's a little bit of, I don't know what all. Like I say, I get a Metroid vibe for whatever reason. I get that feeling. There's just so many good combinations of smart ideas, great iterations. The final execution is just really strong, and we're playing it tonight. That's how much we like
we
it.
are now. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I thought we were anyway, weren't we? Weren't we going to play? You talked about it earlier. I guess we just never said it. But yeah, we're going to play it tonight. All right, what else? A lot of Animal Crossing. I'm a multi-millionaire or billionaire, I guess. I made a wad of money on my turnips this week, so I'm pretty happy about that. If by the way, if there is anybody listening who's like a big fan of the game and want to share codes and get to people's islands and all that other stuff, it's a pretty active community on the Frog Pants Discord. You can go hang out with some other people and get codes and that sort of thing. So check that out over on the site, which is at frogpants.com/core. All right. Oh, then I spent some time in Moonlighter because I got it on Switch. I think I talked about that last week, so nothing more to say there except that's a cool game. Been playing Fury Unleashed, which just launched in 1.0 status its own self. Think of a super metal side-scrolling shooter game, 2D shooter game, but match that with Rogue Legacy, and that's basically the game. And it's very cool. Even though it looks like it was all the art was drawn by some stoner kid, it's very cool. I like the game a lot. Fury Unleashed just came out. And then I've been playing Divinity with Bo and hit a couple of his friends. Divinity Original Sin 2, that is, the 4-player stuff. I've only had one night session with these guys, but that was a lot of fun for us to do. So tell us, you talk about what you think that experience is like, because I had a blast. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it was both good and bad. It was great playing that game multiplayer.
Yeah.
We're playing with a difficult group. With everyone in the group, I love them to death.
Yeah.
But and I will go to bat for them any day. But everyone has an over exuberant, an abundance of personality in their own way, and I'm trying not to be Mr. Control Man. It's like, hey, let's go talk to whatever NPCs you feel like. But I feel like I have one of the worst misbehaved kids, and then one of the most introverted kids, and then like their friend Scott, who's like, "What is this?"
No, see, so I played a whole lot of that single player. What I didn't know is just how much of it gets retained in that experience. Like, you talk to NPCs, and if you want to hear what the NPCs playing, you listen into the conversation. You don't have to have a separate talk with them. You hear Bo's character talking to them. Sometimes you hear them just standing there. Sometimes you have to click on them to actually hear the dialogue. So there's all that stuff. But then the multiplayer is very different because you control a whole team when you're playing that game solo. And in this mode, it's like playing D&D kind of. And
well, I was missing tons of dialogue because someone would start it and not tell anyone.
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, so am I supposed to get mad? We're supposed to do this orderly, or should we just like let it ride and be like, whatever?
Yeah.
Well, here's my advice to you, somebody who's been through it, multiplayer, maybe not even in definitely not in as chaotic a group as you were in. Don't get too hung up on missing story. We tried very hard to be considerate and listen and do everything together. And by the end, I think we were all still confused. We kind of got bits and pieces of it, but there were still long conversations of, are we friends with these guys? Should we be killed? Did we just join the bad guys? Like, there was a lot of that discussion near the end of like, what exactly is it we're doing? It can be tricky when you've got 4 people and, you're trying to be respectful of time and you don't want to sit there and really think about everything that's getting said.
Mm-hmm.
It can be tough, but it was still one of the most fun multiplayer experiences I've ever had in a game.
Well, I can tell you the combat is a freaking blast. Even though things were a little chaotic, it's really fun to like be strategic, because in that game things like stuff on the ground matters, and I don't know, like playing it after being involved in our D&D campaign for so long, it was like, hey, here's a visual version of what we kind of try to do in D&D. And it's just, I don't know, it was really, that stuff's great.
Yeah, it has that element because Crofton was learning, because Crofton was playing a rogue, and he was a lizard folk, right? So he can breathe fire. So at the start of every combat, because it looks super badass, he would breathe fire and light himself on fire every time, and then be a flaming rogue trying to stealth, but you can't. So he just walk in and do like no damage.
Yeah.
And it's been the story so far for his character. Just he constantly sets himself on fire.
I think it's funny that he wanted to be a rogue at all. Like he's always a rogue. He just wants to charge in and blow fire on everything, which is like the least roguelike thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, so you have to understand the different kind of rogues. There's the John kind of rogue that values privacy and stealth and doing things sneaky and having cool grappling hooks and just generally being a badass and awesome, being a cut above.
Yeah.
Then there's the people who just want to show off, right? the showboats of the world. They're not really good at fighting, but they're going to act like they're super good at things because they sly flourish their way through.
Yeah.
And so that's what that kind of rogue is. Not a good one, but a fancy one.
Well, he was cracking me up the whole time, and so that made for a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to do it again. But you guys had to run on a night I was busy for the second one. How does that work as a player? My guy just follows you around or what?
We've barely progressed. We're basically where we were. We played for 3 hours.
Wow.
We killed like something.
Did you end up fighting that group, or did you had to get out of those?
We killed this guy Migo. There's a guy on a beach called Migo. And we had no idea what it was about. There's a quest for it. I knew the quest, but I'm not spoiling things. So let's kill this Migo guy. All right. Well, that's the extent of our role playing in this game. Attack! And we killed Migo.
Are you still in Fort Joy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we haven't gotten anywhere.
Okay.
We've explored a few places, but it was mostly 3 hours of arguing.
But down in that prison thing, you guys didn't fight that other guy again, right? Because he was
no. We've done nothing significant without you.
All right.
Except we beat. Oh, we did the arena. There's an arena.
Yeah.
We beat it, but then they want you to fight each other to the death, so that there's the one, and we all refused. So they called us a wuss and kicked us out.
Hey, that's the same thing that happened for us. You'll never guess which of the 4 people that were playing wanted to do the fight again, the PvP fight.
Oh, that's cool. So wait a minute. That's the one right? That's underground, right underneath where the butcher guy works, right? Is that the guy I'm thinking of? That guy that put the elf guy in the cage. Oh, this is. You know what? Saying this is so stupid in that game because there's way too many storylines and bits. Me going, oh yeah, remember the guy with the thing? He was stuck in the deal. That's like saying to anybody in life, do you remember that time at the mall 50 years ago that you talked to a guy? Like, it's a bad question is what I'm saying. So I won't ask it again. But anyway, it's cool. But, it's a very cool experience.
So you'll play again with us?
Oh, hell yeah.
I will tell you, Crofton was considerably more well-behaved when you weren't there.
Oh, I don't mind.
I think he might be showing off for a big hotshot Lifetime Achievement Award Hall of Famer podcaster, Scott Johnson.
Look, just because there's a bunch of trophies over there doesn't mean anything. Those were all like $50 at the corner store. Here's
I know that.
Here's what I'm saying about him. He should not worry about that because I know what I'm getting into with him, and it's totally fine. And I do look forward to playing again because I was having a blast with that. So I'm all in. It's all good.
No, but he was toned down. I think he realizes. So our other friend Mike, who we haven't talked about, hasn't played a video game in like 10 years. Yeah. And he's trying to enjoy his first video game in like 10 years and read all the dialogue, and Crofton's running ahead being like stealing everything, killing stuff.
Well, it's
important.
We had
a little talk about
it's important to note too that he's he pickpocketed me. I had like 300 gold on me or something.
Yep.
And suddenly I didn't. And I went, wait a minute.
You caught that fast because he was going to plant that on someone else. That's how he worked.
Yeah. And so I finally figured out Crofton freaking pickpocketed me in my own team.
He doesn't steal for himself. He steals to make chaos.
Yeah, he's an agent of chaos. But anyway, it was fun having Mike kind of get back with the systems and stuff. And he was playing notably over GeForce Now, right?
Yeah. Starting at absolute zero, he plays free-to-play Hearthstone. That's it. Like past 10 years. His last game that he played hardcore was probably Mafia 2, ironically, or Final Fantasy 11 in its heyday. So it's been a decade.
Yeah.
So he has the 10-year-old plus Mac that runs nothing. It won't even run Diablo 3 because we tried that a long time ago. Yeah. It won't run Diablo 3. Think about that. Diablo 3 doesn't take much.
Yeah, Diablo 3 runs great on my Mac.
It'll barely run. It runs at 10 frames per second. It's so strange seeing Diablo 3 run at 10 frames per second because so few computers are that bad to run it at that.
It must be an old Mac because I've got like
It's an old Mac. So he installs GeForce Now, gets everything set up, gets a Steam account. And even though he already has one, he just makes a new one because he's that lazy. Irritates me. I've got him twice on my friends list now.
That's great.
With the same username too. Anyways, so he buys Divinity, so now he's in for like $30 Canadian, 30-ish bucks Canadian.
Sure.
And then he commits to the year with GeForce Now. So that's it. He spent $30 and he's in there and he's playing Divinity. And it works like a charm. Even GeForce Now was like, we don't recommend you running it. And he's like, whatever. And he tried it anyways. Yeah. Works fine. He says the Netflix thing happens sometimes when your bandwidth goes down, it gets grainier.
Yeah.
but the system always tries to give you a good game experience, so it'll reduce your quality before reducing your play experience.
Yeah.
And he says it's been working flawlessly. He's played 2 4-hour sessions with it, feels fine about it. And he's not one of these I have to have the best graphics kind of person. He's happy enough playing a game.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, and they do look. It looks good. Good. I mean, it sounds bad to say something looks good enough, like it's just barely there, but it is actually good enough.
I tried playing some GeForce Now on Divinity. I tested it out before making him do it.
Yeah.
And the resource cost of my machine to record the OBS, like the OBS video I was sending to him on how to install everything. Yeah, I made a whole 20-minute video. That's how noobish he is.
That's the kind of friend you are, dude.
I made an unlisted video explaining how to do this for him. The OBS resource cost on all fronts was more taxing than GeForce Now.
Wow.
Which is impressive because I've never seen that.
That's crazy.
Everything I stream the game's going like, wow! Like it's redlining on my either memory or hard disk write speed or
weird
CPU. So
weird.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. It's a fun game, and people should play it anyway, whether you play it with friends or not. It turns out Divinity 2. I mean, we should legitimately be excited about Baldur's Gate 3 because that's that team, and you forget just how deep this game is until you crack it open and you're like, oh yeah. And if they even go close to this in Baldur's Gate 3, that thing is going to be something else. I'm a little nervous because they're not just fully in charge the way they are with the Divinity series, so but more cooks in the kitchen. But anyway, we'll see. Very excited about that. All right, we'll jump back to John for a second. I know you've been in Animal Crossing. Oh, did you get I sent you a freezer. Did you get your freezer?
I got my freezer.
Sweet.
It's not set up yet because my house has only been expanded once. And there's not a lot of room for anything. But the town's coming along. We got a new community center. We got another bridge project we're working on. We're building that thing up. It's gonna be glorious one day.
Great.
So we're getting there. I had some new residents move in. I had to put stuff outside their houses. I found out today that I can pick it right back up and sell it.
Yep.
Which is what I did because I did not like what they wanted set up outside. It was just polluting my town.
Yep.
So get rid of it.
It's ugly.
And but no, I got a cool elephant person, and I got a cute little frog lady.
Yeah.
And I got a terrifying bear.
Oh, wow.
He has a unibrow, like a big green unibrow, and he is gigantic.
Oh,
and
wow.
He is intimidating.
Wow. I don't think I have that bear. Do you know his name?
No.
Okay.
He's
Igor.
He's a bear, and I'm considering. He's been very nice, but now that Isabel is in town, it looks like I can complain about certain villagers.
Yeah, you can kick him out.
I might file a complaint about the bear.
Why? What has he done to you? He's a nice guy.
He's really scary. Like every time I see him running around, I get just a little, not like a jump scare, but there's just a jolt, like a shock.
Yeah.
Like, if you were watching someone walk across a precarious cliff and then they fell, you would feel a little like,
Yeah.
like, that's what I get every time I see him.
That's hilarious. All right. I have the only bear I have is a panda bear, and his name is Cho, and he's very nice, and he has a cute little house, and he doesn't bother me. I would feel really bad kicking anybody off my island, even the annoying people. They all call me Pubis now because I told them to. So remember that when they come up to you and say, "Hey, how's it going? Can I call you Iron G or whatever they want to call you?" Say, "No, I don't like it." Then they'll say, "Oh, what should I call you?" And you can have them say any old nasty thing you want. Well, I don't know if you like. If you gave them the F word, it'd probably go, "Oh, I can't do that" or something. But I said, "Call me Pubis," and now they do. So,
Well,
that's his divinity name too, by the way.
Yeah,
Pubis
That
Von
doesn't
Candlestick
surprise
or
me.
something.
No, it's Pubis Von. Oh, what was his last name?
Cinderpuck or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Cinderpuck or Truck or Duck. Underpuck, whatever it is.
My town square in my village
Mm-hmm.
has 2 messages posted on it. One is from me. One is from me where I wrote, "Ho, Islanders," and the other one is a picture of a penis that Scott drew.
So when I go to people's towns, and you can do this, you go to their town, And they have the bulletin board, which you have announcements on and stuff like that. It's the community bulletin board. So when John has events, it'll say, hey, don't forget, May 25th, we're doing this or whatever. You can go up there as a visitor and leave a message. And you can either do text or write right on the screen, like draw something. And what I do when I go to people's towns, of friends that I know, like you and Dunaway and people like that, always a penis. That's what you get, is a penis. For anybody else, I will draw like a happy face and a guy going, yeah, or whatever, like it's just a little cartoon, but always a penis for my real
It sounds like the kind of scenario that ends up that you put a penis on the wrong person's Animal Crossing island. Right? There's like a job prospect lined up. You're like, the agent is a little conservative, so let's just keep a pin in it. And then during the meeting, you're like, you play Animal Crossing? Well, I do too. Okay, let's exchange. It's later. It's Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's
yeah, exactly.
And log it in, and you log into someone's island. You think it's Dunaway's, and you put a big turd in the middle of the island. You draw a big penis.
Well, you'd
know. The deal's canceled.
You'd know it was his though, because there's no way you wouldn't know, because whenever you go somewhere, it's all super drawn out and weird the way you go to people's islands. But somebody came to mind. I don't even know who it was. I just had it open, and they left an actual pattern. Okay, so there's a custom pattern creator in the game, and you can make anything and put it on anything. Like there's these white panels, and I know somebody who used photo green on these panels. So now they're actually streaming a show from within the game, and the panels are acting like a green screen so you can show stuff back there that's not in the game. I know somebody else who turned those panels that you just buy them and then you just stack them together, made them look like the fronts of bookshelves. So they created a whole library, and there's not actual books in there, but it's all drawn out to look like it just stacks and stacks of books for miles. So it's very cool. But you can make any pattern you want, put it on clothes, put it on your face, make a flag, whatever. So I got a friend with a Megadeth t-shirt. If you're a Packers fan, there are like Packers shirts you can get, and hats, like New York Yankees hats, like all this stuff that's like technically, not Nintendo's IP. You can do anything. And somebody made one of those patterns with their own version of a penis and just left it on the beach in the very back of my island. And so I saw that and went, oh, I'm going to do this everywhere I go. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
This is going to spread like a virus. No.
I just think you should add a little, just like at the bottom, just as I know it says that, who drew it or who posted it. I just feel like you should write like a Johnson was here or something like that underneath it.
I mean, I love the idea that you can leave something for people. I like to say thanks, for whatever they gave. People also do tips and stuff now, which I feel kind of bad for, because today I opened up my island. A bunch of people left tips to come sell at a high price. It's a long story. But I did it earlier in the week with somebody who had a good price, and I didn't know about the tip thing. I wasn't aware of the etiquette. So I went in there, drew a fun cartoon character, not a penis, on his board, left him a nice message, said thanks, chatted out a big thanks in the chat window, and then I left. I feel like that guy who went to Applebee's, made the waitress run around like crazy, and then just said, all right, that was great, thanks you guys, keep working at it, and never left a tip. That's how I felt.
You didn't make them work like crazy. They had to open their gates.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Tips are nice, but I mean, you did more than what most people do. Anybody can drop some bells, especially because when you think about it this way, Scott, every single person is going there to become rich, essentially.
Yeah.
Basically, they have opened up millionaire machines, and they're just making millionaires, just cranking them out. So dropping 1,000 gold on the ground or 1,000 bells on the ground is literally the least you can do. You went over there, you drew a cartoon, you typed a little something in chat. That's effort.
Yeah.
And then you got out of there. Yeah. I think that's fine.
Okay. I feel better about it now that you've explained it that way. Much better now. Well, anyway, the game just continues to rock, and I'm glad John's playing it, because now it's fun. Because like when I'll find some cool thing in my store and go, oh, dude, a server rack? John wants a server rack, and I'll just buy you a server rack.
Right now, I don't.
Well, not yet, but I'm going to send you one when you're ready for it. And it's literally like, at some point, my basement, I'm clearing out everything that's in there now. Right now, it's kind of a studio with cameras and stuff. I'm going to clear that whole basement out and fill it with these server racks. I'm going to make a server room in my house for no reason except it looks cool. And these servers look like big racks of blades and, all blinking and doing their thing. The game is crazy with this stuff. There's so many weird things in it. I love it. Anyway. All right. You played Civ 6. How's that going? Turn after turn. Just keep going all night long.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like that game's still great. I just put it on here because I played it. I trying to up the difficulty. I was playing this guy. I don't remember his name. He's got a cool name. His name's like Matthias
Ooh,
Breath or something like that. Like he's got a cool sounding
that's
name.
a cool name. Yeah.
Anyway, his whole thing is like if you become the Caesarian of a city state, you can levy their military for if you go to war. And if you're a levied military unit under him, it's extremely powerful. So I set up this whole scenario where I knew I was being kind of a dick to all my neighbors. I knew I was going to get a surprise war against me, and I was ready. I was the Caesarian of like 3 different city states, and the surprise war started, and I levied the military, and they immediately, the other people became the Caesarian of it over the top of me, and I had those units for 1 turn, and then I was grossly outnumbered, and it was bad.
Oops.
That's a great story. I got tripped up on something.
Yes.
You were the Caesarian of the city-state?
What is it? It's Caesarian, right?
Suzerain. It's Suzerain.
Oh, I always thought
I
John.
don't think it's this because
Hold on.
you keep calling yourself a Caesarian. And
Oh, the Caesarian's like when you get your baby cut out, right? You get this C-section.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It's a C-section.
Yeah.
That's what the
Well,
C stands for.
How do you pronounce it? Hold on. How are you
Caesarian.
pronouncing it? Bo?
Say it again, Bo. How do you say
It's like suzerain. S-U-Z. It's one of their fancy words. R-A-I-N. Suzerain. A sovereign or state having some control over another state that is internally autonomous.
That's it. That's the word I meant.
Suzerain or suzerain. So it's not Caesarian.
Suzerain.
You're killing me the whole. You said Caesarian.
Here,
Yeah.
I got a pronunciation for it. Hold on. You guys want to hear it? Here, let's play what this says. This thing says it. Oh, audio unavailable. Hold on. Let me go in there.
I'm gonna listen.
What's the point? Website? Okay.
Suzerain.
If you just Google it, they'll say it. I'm listening to it.
Well,
Suzerain.
I use
It's Suzerain. I was the Susan of many a city state.
Okay,
Just
now
Google
I
that.
found it. Here it is. I'll play it. All right,
Suzerain.
Yeah, suzerain. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was.
All right. I kind of like Caesarian.
The constipated guy's right.
Yeah. Hold on. There's one more here.
Nobody was telling me what I was gonna be out loud. They were just spelling it. That's a real problem.
This says alternative way to say it.
Penis.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I didn't expect that. Yeah.
Well, that I can pronounce. So
Penis.
I think I'll just call it.
Peenies. Hold on.
Penis.
Wait, what?
All right. On the Merriam-Webster dictionary, right? They have 2 pronunciations. They have, oh, I see. Okay. So penis by itself.
Penis.
All right. Plural penises. So I didn't know this. Did you guys know that multiple penises are called
penis?
Peenies.
Oh, no, I didn't. I would have said penises.
I would have too. I would have said either a bunch of penises or.
So when there's a bukkake happening, there's a lot of peenies.
Penis.
It's the way he says it. It's like it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, there's something about this guy's voice.
Penis.
I didn't realize.
Penis.
He's like, oh, is there a penis?
Penis.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, he's excited either way.
Penis.
If you're a new listener, the bukkake reference is from a past episode. It's a callback.
Yeah, it's not Bo.
Not
Just
a weird thing.
Yeah.
You can stay. We don't do that.
Yeah, Bo's not obsessed with the act of
khaki.
multiple peenies.
Penis.
All right, that's awesome.
I'm not into the khaki.
Peenies.
I didn't know we were going to learn something tonight. That's fantastic. Peenies. All right.
I learned 2 things. I learned how to say that I was a Susan for somebody, and
You also learned what a Caesarian was.
well, I knew that, but I just thought maybe it had a double meaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you knew what that was. You knew what that word was.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I
makes my
understand
face
that.
hurt. I laughed so hard right there. Maybe my whole face hurts now. All right.
Look, let he who is without mispronunciation issues point the first skeletal finger.
Oh yeah, and me,
Exactly.
don't even ask me, dude. I'm freaking. I mean,
Peenies.
yeah, peenies.
Penis.
All right. I love that guy
It
so much.
sounds like Chili's has a hot new product.
Yeah.
It's like the Sliders version of a panini.
Yeah.
They're like, we've got peenies.
Peenies.
Penis.
We're ready to put them out there.
Yeah. What do you guys have on the grill?
Penis.
Okay, give me some of those. That'd be great. Oh wait. Oh
It's
my gosh.
close to paninis.
How about this one? Is this real? Hold on. Sorry. I'm okay. Oh, there's no pronunciation on this one. Darn it. There's something called penis. Oh, it's peninsular. It's not penis at all. It's like peninsula.
What did you think it was?
Peninsular Malaysia, for example, is a peninsula. It's Malaysia's peninsula. And so I saw the word peninsular and went, ew, penis, what? Penis lar. Like I was trying to do it phonetically. It's not, it's wrong. It's wrong.
We had somebody who had apparently not seen the word peninsula written down before and said, I don't know, it's on Peninsuela Avenue?
Peninsuela.
Peninsuela.
It was always my favorite pronunciation of that.
That was our
species of whale.
It was our maid growing up. Her name was Peninsuela. We loved her. She was great. All right, check this out. Just for the ladies out there, here's your singular.
Vagina.
All right. That guy. Ugh. Here's your plural for vagina.
Vagina.
That's what it says. Vagina.
Vagina.
What's the source?
That's the equivalent of peenies. So it's plural. It's plural. What? The source is Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Merriam-Webster Dictionary since 1828. They say in their top thing.
Have you ever heard a living human being ever use the word? That word?
No.
Vagina.
Like,
vagina.
I don't think I've ever heard that, or vagina, or penis. I've never heard.
I've never heard this. Is everything like this? Hold on.
Anus.
I can't find one. No, okay. Anus is just anuses.
So if it follows a pattern, it'd be anes. But if it's what we think it is, it's anuses.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
The anes sound like a great award show.
The Anes. Welcome back to the Anes
programs. Yeah. It's the Ane only award show. The Anes.
Yeah, the Anes. Did you win an Ane for your performance?
I got 2 Anes.
That's fantastic. All right, moving on down the road. Oh, Bo, we kind of stole your thunder on both the games you played, but
no. We played the games together, so.
Well, that's true.
Fine.
That's true. All right, here we go. Just do this.
That's a good question.
Got an email here from Jay Haskin, who sent his email in on the website, frogpants.com/core, or you can leave it as a voicemail. That's an option, 801-471-0462. He says this. Jay says, will you please give your copy of Persona 5 to John? And then the message is this. Every week, I meant to write in and ask John what he thinks of the modern Persona games. Listening to him be curious about them, be curious, and then playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I adored my time with, but longing for a more turn-based combat system always reminds me of the Persona series. Persona 5 especially nails it with reducing the menu system to assigned button presses, and rewarding you with one more system for hitting enemies' weakness. The Royal Release is even better with its combat system enhances. I guess that's like an enhanced edition or something. Anyway, a Royal re-release, not release. I heard you talk about the series last week and tease maybe even streaming it. It seems much more like a John game, and I would love to hear him discuss his experience playing through it. He now has a Switch, so I'm sure his backlog of games to play is a hurdle, but I'd still love to hear it. Awesome show. Thanks. Well, Jay, if John wanted to play that game, I would totally send him my copy, and you could play it without hesitation. So, John, you just have to decide. Do you want to get so Japanese all up in here that you want to play Persona 5 or no?
Maybe. I'll let you know. I've played Persona 3 and Persona 4, so he's asking my thoughts on the series.
Oh, well, yeah. What do you think of the series?
I've played both of those. I haven't ever beaten a Persona game, but I like them. I do like the mix of the school life with the RPG life. I think that's always a really neat kind of thing about those games. Mm-hmm. If you've ever heard me talk about like Fire Emblem and stuff like that, you know I'm kind of a sucker for the like, oh, it's this, but relationships built into it. Mm-hmm. And those games kind of have that, and that's kind of a fun thing. The problem I get into is those tend to go pretty deep in the systems of like kind of like your summons. I don't remember exactly what they call them in the series, but you've got like these entities, these demons and stuff that you can kind of create, and those systems tend to be very deep and very interesting, and I tend to fall down that rabbit hole a little too far and a little too hard, and all of a sudden I've lost sight of just playing the game. So that's usually where I fall off, is when I start going like, oh, I need to, mix these demons together to get a different demon, and I can put this together with this, and next thing I know, I'm just in the weeds. But I think they're really cool games. I think they're super fun. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. I've just got a couple things that are on the docket right now for me, and I don't know if I have time for it. But Scott, I will let you know.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
we can maybe
let me
do
know,
that.
because right now it's
It's
just sort of sitting here. So if somebody would play it, and then we could have some great commentary about it on the show, that'd be fine. We could pass it around.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. I know nothing about Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like I followed 3 and I followed 4, and 5 came out in a time where I just knew I wasn't going to play it, and so I just didn't pay much attention to it. I know they're thieves. Like, I know that's kind of the backstory. Their moonlighting is as like a heist crew, which is kind of cool. But that's about it. That's about all I know on it.
Well, there you go. We know it's the 5th in the series. We can confirm that.
I also know that. Yeah.
Also, if anyone out there has played Super Mega Baseball 3, I want to know if it's as good as the last game, because I may want to pick that up. I know this sounds totally non sequitur, and it is, but I loved that last game. It's the only.
Is it both Super and Mega?
It's called Super Mega Baseball, and it started out. The first one was on the PlayStation 3, and I loved that game because it's like a big head, dumb sports game that's not licensed. All the teams are fake. Right. It's a baseball game, and I love arcadey baseball. It's always been kind of a thing with me. That and arcadey football. I love that kind of stuff in video games. Anyway, 2 was really great. I had that on Steam. 3rd one's out, and I'm sorely tempted, and I'm just curious if anybody out there would recommend it, because boy, Polygon sure loved it. These guys were raving about it, and I'm sorry about the non sequitur, but I wanted to just put that out there.
Multiplayer?
It is. I believe it has online stuff, so you can play with and against your friends. Let me make sure that that's true. It's hard to tell because this review is long, and I'll just say I don't know.
Yeah, it's on the Steam page, but it'll say like co-op or something.
Yeah, probably. But I love a good arcadey, over-the-top baseball game. And this is definitely probably the best it's the best, at least based on what I played with Super Mega Baseball 2 of that kind of thing. Nobody's doing it as good as this. It's very good. All right. Okay, that's it. That's your email. We have a mashup to play, and we're going to play it right now. This is from TMS Mashups. Jamie, who does this stuff for my morning show, the morning stream, he occasionally does one for us, which is awesome because they're always great. And I have no idea what's in this. I haven't played it. I can tell you it's called Down There Etiquette. Okay? So I'm starting to think about what that might have been. Well, we're about to find out together. Down There Etiquette. All right? So sounds like something Bo would say. I don't know why. But we're about to play it. So here it is. Enjoy.
Sometimes, Scott, you really, really, really want to show someone your butthole. And when you do, you want it to look your best, I guess.
5 times chocolate monster butthole chocolate.
I think it's a thing people do, and it probably can be done safely.
Oh, I'm sure
I've
it
never
is.
wanted to show anybody mine so bad that I felt the need to dress it up. But,
Yeah.
it's fine.
You
It's
never
fine.
know. It's
Like,
fine.
look,
Who are we to judge?
if I did want to show mine to somebody, I would probably want to dress it up. Hey, friend, I'd really like to feed him, but I can't.
I can't do it. Does he do that thing where he cleans the ball and does that thing where he spreads his legs? And...
I don't remember the ball cleaning part, but there's definitely ball licking. Bowling ball licking, I mean.
Wow.
There's definitely bowling ball licking.
Sure. Or
I thought Scott said uterus.
Yeah, in your uterus. They need to bury it deep in your uterus where no one can find it. Yeah.
40 years and no one's asked to look at it yet, but you never know.
Yeah.
The problem is if I was decorating down there, it would be super hard to avoid the temptation of drawing 2 eyes and a nose so that it looks like a face going.
Oh, you want to see a wiener 2 inches from your face? Here you go. Whee! Hey, what if we made one where your balls are flopping around?
Oh my God, Puck Chap, Kappa, Bible Thump. My balls are Bible Thump.
Yep.
He's probably pooping. He's probably, I don't know, dropping the deuce.
Late day poop.
But you're like, oh, that guy, he's handsome, but he smells like vegetables.
Yeah, we all know
I felt
that.
He's handsome, but he smells like vegetables.
You gotta brush your teeth.
If you must, you gotta comb your hair. If you must, you gotta wash your bum. If you must, or else you'll be funky.
You know what I would do? Here's what I'd do. I'd have a little Boba Fett sticking halfway out, like he's going into this.
I thought it was exit only, Scott.
It is. It is, generally speaking. I have an
It is,
exit
but
only
Boba
policy.
Fett is an exception.
But Boba Fett sticking out because he's about to get eaten by the Sarlacc pit. Now that is something to think about.
Wow.
Wow. I don't remember saying, like always, I remember saying 10% of what he captures. I don't remember
I
saying.
remember vegetables.
Yeah. I do
You
remember
got
that.
a good laugh. And I was happy with myself.
It was such a weird
It's so
reference.
rare.
Just the idea. There's something about like the smell of like, I guess it would be rotting vegetables, but just the overwhelming scent of vegetables is a funny thing to assign to a person.
Well, it's when they bring their house smell with them.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, like some people, everyone has a house smell. You go over, you're like, oh, house smell.
Mhm.
But some people bring their house smell with them because they cook with a lot of onions or
Yeah.
something like that.
Like right
They
now,
just
we
smell
have a
like-
serious. We're not going anywhere because of the pandemic, but the house smells strong right now because Kim made jambalaya today, and that's super aromatic. Lots of onions, lots of southern spices, all this stuff. And then later made enchiladas with kimchi in it, and that was the stinkiest thing on the planet, but amazing. They were really good. But right now, if you walked in here, you would think our house smell is a problem. You would go, "Oh my Lord, what have you done here?"
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Also, keep in mind, it's probably okay to smell like vegetables most of the time, just if you're dating or trying to be,
Yeah.
if you're in seduction mode. I think that's what we were talking about.
I don't know either.
I quit.
I don't know what the hell we were saying. All
I'm gonna
right.
quit while I'm not ahead.
I'll tell you what. We're gonna play some Deep Rock Galactic. We're gonna go chop down some rocks. We're gonna drink some beer.
Rock and stone.
Not real beer. Some fake beer. We're gonna turn on the what's that thing called? The what's it called when people play music? It's called the. It's in the bar.
Jukebox.
Jukebox. We're gonna turn the jukebox on and play whatever dumb thing they got on there, and then we're gonna go kill spiders and collect stuff. So stick around if you want to watch that chat room. For the rest of you guys at home, big reminder, we are at patreon.com/core show if you would like to support this nonsense. And why wouldn't you? We have a great time here and we need your help. That's over at patreon.com/core show, and we'll keep the show up. We're also at frogpants.com/core, and you can find us all on Twitter. Bo's at Bo Schwartz, John's at John_Jagger, I'm at Scott Johnson, and you can find this show at Core Pod. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Bo, for John. See you next week! This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Yeah. We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We totally did it. All right.
Great show.
So, oops, that was weird.
We've been brought in for a great landing.
Yeah,
I
it was-
thought we were going to go a whole episode by keeping it clean.
No, you know,
No.
peonies.
No.
Peninis.